But, Christians say,
Sorry about that, you guys. Lost connection. I don't know what happened, but I'm back.
but people take it as a good thing. You got all these churches and stuff, and they think they're going to the kingdom. I don't
What this
think
guy did with the show?
you're not going to have that parade up there for this, that one. No, if you're not a part of Israel, which we
Reverend
are,
Willie Ray broke his rib.
but I don't want to be Israel. Okay, then fine. You just don't make it there. Listen, sweet, I'm getting ready to go to this channel. I want to shut that. So that's all I got to say.
Shalom. Thank you for calling in. Jetson, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Vaughn. This is Jackson from Penn area. Our social club, also a member and also a player. But anyway, I'm calling in reference to the library. Well, this just been it's the beginning of the first year, but the end of the last year. And Penn North Library, they sell it. I mean, the Compton magazine. A lot of people not familiar with, but the library, Pratt put out the Compton magazine. It comes out periodically, like January, February, the end of the, then they have November, and December. But Kwanzaa magazine, Kwanzaa celebration was listed at some of the libraries, and it wasn't listed in the Penn North Library. And Penn North Library is it's a real, the real highlight black neighborhood, like Penn North, Sandtown, Winchester, Druid Heights, Coppin Heights, part of Coppin Heights, and for this not to be in that, not to be listed with the Kwanzaa.
Come on, sir.
Kwanzaa and what the day
Oh
after
my
Christmas
gosh.
to go to the first of the year, and I was just amazed when I got that, and I picked it up at the library, the Compton magazine. Some people get it in the mail, but I didn't. I don't get it in the mail, but
thank you. I don't know what happened.
They gave me a couple copies, and for Penn North not be.
Brother Johnson, have you reached out to them about why they don't have a Kwanzaa celebration?
No, Sister Vaughn, I ain't reached out to them or anything.
So you bringing it here for what?
I'm just saying that with you always
yeah, I'm back.
That area there, Pennsylvania North, and I'm saying that because of like, I'm a member of our social. We revitalized. We're doing valorization on the club there, and we're trying to restore that area and everything, and with his entertainment district and all going on. But I'm just saying, I just took notice of this. It's just sometimes things you just take notice to, and like, and I having to pick up like I told them to get the Compass magazine. So I just happened to be somewhere and saw one, and I got it. And then when I started looking through it, and then I went to the library and got another copy,
sir,
and down the main library, and then I found out that Penn North Library not even listed in there.
Okay, well, once you take notice, you got to take action. So I would call them and see if they would do that.
All the time I stick my nose and stuff. I say stick my nose. I'm saying literally, but I being a community person, whatnot. And sometimes I call up other people and let them be involved and let them do things. I can't do it. I can't fight all the wars.
No, you can't fight all of them, but I'm sure you've made your acquaintance with any. Okay.
And let them go and take it, and like I'm talking to you, and this exposure right here, maybe some other people look into it and see. Well, Black History Month is coming up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for bringing it up. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's the platform to do that on, and hopefully somebody heard you today. Thank you. We're gonna go right to Brother Haki. You're on Face the Facts. Good morning. Okay. Well, one second. My producer is in my ear, Brother Haki, and everyone who's on the line, please hold for me. But I just want to bring back everyone around to what this show is really about. And what we're talking about is the issues, the many general issues that are currently plaguing Baltimore City. That's important. And we want you to call in with those issues. One thing that I have talked about from the top of the show was the Board of Estimates meeting yesterday, where it was pulled on the carpet that we have a firm that wants to revise our procurement process for Baltimore City, for minority contractors and them getting the funds from work they are contracted for through the city. And we took one of the bidders, one of the firms with the lowest scoring on one of the tests that our city makes them take in order to even bid. They scored a 70. The highest score is 100. And we currently took them yesterday, basically, from what I could hear, because they were the cheaper option. And our city council president, Nick Mosby, said, let's not go cheaper. Let's do better the first time. And I'm with him on that. Also talked about a couple of other things. Brother Leo brought up some short-staffed issues and even some things with Fox 45 and the things that they're doing. So feel free to call in. We have one line available, 410-481-1010. We're going to take a very brief break, and we'll be right back. This is Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn on 1010 WOLB. Woo! Hey, guys. Not doing his dirty work. I don't understand it. Hey. Oh.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM.
I'm gonna get right back at it, though.
An Urban One radio station, minority controlled, and operate and serving the African American communities for over 40 years. The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio One, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Well, good morning and welcome back. This is Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn. We're speaking Baltimore in general today. I couldn't really narrow it down to one topic because there's so much happening in Baltimore and still even some things that I haven't brought up, but maybe you have some things to bring up. We have one line available, 410-481-1010, if you want to get in on this conversation. But for right now, we go to Brother Haki. Brother Haki, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning. We got him? Brother Haki? Yep, I can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to say you're doing a great job. But I wasn't able to, people asked about Chaplain Mike Jensen. He's been in the hospital, but he's okay. So, we definitely will get more feedback.
Thank you. We asked for that this morning. Yeah, we asked for that this morning because we haven't been able to get anyone from. So if you know anyone from the family that can call Larry Young, that would be awesome. Thank you.
And thank you for, talking about the Board of Estimates meeting. I was just in a meeting yesterday discussing what's coming up with this CIAA. And,
good morning, Michael.
I'm very interested in what, the plans are for the majority of the black businesses, the dining facilities as well. We're looking at somewhere anywhere 25,000 to 35,000 tourists coming next month for the basketball tournament. And Bowie State is in the game, so people are going to be coming mostly from Prince George's County. But we have to ask these questions when we have these large operations or tourist attractions, like where are, the Board of Estimates and who are they awarding some of these contracts to? So I appreciate you mentioning that. And when is the next Board of Estimates meeting, Kelly?
It's usually every other Tuesday at 9 a.m. I would go over to the Baltimore City Council Facebook page because that's how I tune in, and it will. You can sign up to get an alert when it comes on, and it'll just pop up on your phone like it's happening right now. That's how I keep in touch with it. Even if they pull an emergency one, I'll get that notification. Also, I do want to say that Mayor Scott was on earlier today. He talked about the tournament and his excitement for it. He said that he planned to have Black business pop-up shops down there, but he didn't speak to who got the contracts for it. I'm sure that there's a way that we can get that information. Matter of fact, I think after the show, I'll reach out to President Nick Mosby and see if he can throw that information my way or at least point me in a direction because I'm interested to know as well. I heard him say about Black businesses and Black pop-up shops down at the tournament and showcasing the best and the Black of Baltimore, but he didn't talk about who got the contracts for it. So great question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mark C, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning. Mark C. Mark C. All right. Are you muted, Mark? Because we can't hear you. Okay, Mark. I think you should hang up. Oh, wait. Oh, he hung up. Call back, Mark C. And Dot Cheatham, call back. Robert, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, Mr. Bowles, is he still there with me?
No, he was calling in.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I still want to concur with them. That's a great idea. And with the idea he was talking about should have been taking place maybe 20 years ago. I always thought that the fire department, police department, and those on apparatuses of the city should always been in these high schools in the city, trying to get these kids to join the police or the fire department and other areas of the city civil employment areas. You know, everybody don't have to go to sanitation and transportation. These are good jobs, and I think what they did, and mind you, Ms. Kelly, and for them not to do that, they didn't come up there with that stop and fit. And that just disqualified a whole lot of young Black males or Black people, period, from getting into these civil jobs like police and fire department because they foreseen that 5-8 years down the road, most of these people was going to retire. And they were trying to head off the fact that there was going to be a lot of Black youth joining but they didn't want them to join the fire department and the police department. They want to keep their Irish heritage going, their Italian heritage and Polack heritage going the way they have filtered in 3-4 generations of the family members in these departments.
Hey, Miss Deb.
And that's the problem with the services that we're getting right now in Baltimore. Outside of sanitation and public works, there was a long time patron jobs. So most of those people that died off, Bobby Palucci and Cortez and Lords, and a few people that Mr. Henson, they ran the public works departments now. So you got new people, but you don't have the technology to go with it. I was listening to the guy that they did on this morning on Mr. Young show. He needs seasoned, experienced people in that field in DPW. I worked 30 years with Baltimore County, and I would love to get in touch with him. And I'll come out on those basis, and I'll show him some things that the city needs to do in terms of getting the city cleaned up. I do not believe if he's listening, I will have him to call back. Those drivers don't have individual routes, and they don't have individual responsibility in terms of their pay grade. This is why you don't see the streets being covered. We don't need as many outside people coming from the county to plow our streets. These guys need to be trained in persons to take pride in their community from where they come from and show them how to maintenance their community in their streets. That's the problem that they use. Others come in here and do it. They need to learn how to clean these storm drains off, clean these alleys off, beautify the area, and disinfect these alleys. You don't need water, you need lime. Get some lime and clean these alleys up. And that will stop the rodent population. See, these guys
like it's an outhouse.
Need to know in the city and start purchasing and get away with these old people they've been buying from that's holding up all the money.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Robert. I got you. Thank you so much for your thoughts and opinions. I gotta get to some other callers, but yeah, everything you said is right on point. Down to the lot in the alleys. We need to clean it up for real. Thomas, you're on Face the Facts. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Kelly. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Gonna be good today, I promise you.
Me too. I'm gonna be good too. I tried not to act up earlier this morning, but I did it anyway. But now I done calmed down. I'm on good behavior. I'm staying on green today, making good choices and not clamming up.
I said, Kelly, only person with bad credit need co-signing.
That's true.
I'll say this. Mayor Brandon Scott, you got a whole bunch of people co-signing for you, Cap. Nephew, you know better than that. Okay? You know what the city needs, but you rather turn around and give it to other people. Now, I heard your caller before me just talking about the truck drivers and situations and stuff like that, right? Well, first of all, you're not going to find anybody to drive a tractor and trailer for $13.10 an hour.
Mm.
That's an embarrassment.
Stay on green, Shante. Well, yeah.
CW trailer drivers only make a little over $13 an hour. Okay?
Mm.
But yet they're talking about they don't have enough workers. Well, I wonder why you ain't got enough workers. You only pay them $13 an hour. And you're talking about people coming in, clearing your streets with snow and stuff. That contract pays that company $150 an hour to have a truck in here to clean the snow for them.
Now, Thomas, let me just peel in here. Let me get you here, because I want to make sure that I'm understanding something. Because Department of Public Works, they have a union, right?
Yes, they do.
So the responsibility of the pay and as far as the contract is concerned, shouldn't the union be going to the mayor for more funding for Department of Public Works? But it seems like a lot of people take up that issue directly with the mayor.
A lot of people take that issue directly with the mayor, but when you got union presidents, and I'm going to say this ain't the station, this ain't Kelly Bond, and this is Thomas.
Listen, Thomas, they already played my disclaimer. We good.
Good, okay, so I just want to get my disclaimer. I don't want to get themselves in trouble. But you got a lot of these union presidents and stuff that's on the take, okay?
All right.
On the take, they get them little envelopes passed to them in the back rooms, or somebody leave them an envelope when they go to dinner with somebody, you know? That's what's going on with this thing, Kelly. Kelly, think about this, okay? If you're paying me $150 an hour for to have a truck come in and remove snow from your city, right? I'm going to get you as many trucks as I can come up with, right? I'm going to reach out to some friends of mine. I'm going to put them on board. $150 an hour per truck, okay? Per truck. Now, mind you now, that driver at that point probably only going to make $20 to $25 an hour. Mm. So you still got $125 going to the company per truck, okay? Now that's just one stipulation there. Your other caller talking about the CIAA that's coming into town. Well, black transportation companies, we were locked out of the bid, right? Mm-hmm. Guess who's doing the transportation work for CIAA?
And see, I didn't know, and that's why I was saying I wanted to pull the records. But go ahead and share with us.
It's a company called Excalibur. They're a white-owned company. Them and a company called ZBES out of Glen Burnie, Maryland. they're the primary go-to company for the CIAA. Sure, there's some black companies that got what we call the cleanup work, the overflow work, but the main work, the main guaranteed pay is through these two companies.
Amazing. We'll be coming back to talk about who has the contracts later.
Mayor Brandon Scott running around here saying he wants to give the black companies the pop-up business. Man, I don't want no pop-up business. Put me on to get paid, man.
So you're saying you went for the bid and was locked out of the bid, and it went over to these predominantly white companies, white-owned companies.
White companies. It's the same white companies that the Baltimore Ravens are now using. Okay?
Interesting. I'm going to circle back around to that. Thank you so much, Thomas, for calling in, because that's got to be unpeeled a little bit more. I don't have time for it today. I wish I did. Mark C is back. Mark C, you're on Face to Facts. Good morning.
Hey, can you hear me, Kelly?
Surely can. Yes, sir. How you doing?
Hey, then, Kelly, let me co-sign what you said.
Go ahead, co-sign, but like Thomas just said, people with good credit don't need a co-signer, but it's always always good to have a partner in business. Come on with it.
We're going to co-sign about the church.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Stop using church folks as an excuse not to attend church. There are messy people in the club, but yet you still go.
Well, all right.
All right. But Kelly, and
yes, I'm taking notes.
That you have this show because there's so many people, and even starting back to the earlier stuff, that's calling in and facts of power. I always talk about that. But we have 15,000. Kelly, Tim Too said we have 15,000 young people that's homeless in Maryland. Thousands of them homeless right here in Baltimore. That's one issue that I don't never hear nobody talk about.
I think Christina Flowers a few weeks ago, I was listening to her show, and she did actually peel into the young homeless demographic that is often looked over. I don't see how that's happening, because if you're a minor and you're not emancipated, why is no state agency coming in to check into your homelessness and the factors behind it, and bringing some sort of resolve to it? Because you and I know, you take a child and you take tools that they should have growing up from them, they're going to turn to the worst thing. And one thing that she did point out on her show was that we wonder why crime is so high, and we wonder why we have very, very young people. They may not be minors. Sometimes they are, but sometimes even from 18 to 21 that are committing these things. And then you look back in their story and they had a period of homelessness as an adolescent.
Absolutely. And her, Miss Flowers, that's what I'm talking about, your point. She is the only one that consistently talked about it, and she put a face on it a while back, but our leadership don't. They talk about the rec being open, though, but do we talk about some resources where a young person might can walk in there and say, look, I'm homeless. It was a 13-year-old murdered right outside of a rec center. Do we got some more cameras and stuff out there and inside and stuff like that? Kelly, just saying the rec centers are open and stuff like that. This lawlessness that's going on in our city. Kelly, you were out Edmondson Village, and you was out there with that lady,
Miss Monique. Mm-hmm.
That talked about, the open drug markets and no community policing and stuff like that. And that Officer Holly that was murdered, she was doing exactly what we asked our police officers to do. We ain't asking nobody to save us. We ain't asking no politicians or police to save us. We just asked to do what you get paid for. And Officer Holly was doing exactly that. The community knew her. They had positive things. Even a white guy on TV crying said that Sunday before she was murdered, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
One young man said she bought him a cup of coffee and stuff like that. That's a big part of what we need in our community. But the disconnect, Kelly, is not with the community. I talked to a police sergeant, not too long ago. The disconnect is with leadership. They don't feel like leadership got their back. They don't feel like what's going on with leadership
is helping them. And a lot of them are using that, saying their hands are tied and stuff like that. So, that's one thing where we need to combat that's lawlessness, the most important thing. And Kelly, the mayor, was over at Oliver Rec in your neighborhood. We had a lot of forums over there, women's forum, youth forum, and he was at the youth forum. And guess what, Kelly?
What?
He did not ask these young people anything about what they needed or nothing like that. He busy trying to, get his point across that he said on the white station, talking about we killing each other because somebody at the cookout sleep with somebody's wife and all that kind of nonsense. He trying to double down, talking about if your friend beating up his girlfriend, this is what he telling the young people. Tell him to stop. And they looking at him like, and then when I get shot, what you gonna do then? But anyway, one of the youth advocates that work with young people brought up, said, look, man, he said, I'm having more and more young people coming up to me saying I'm homeless. And he said, I'm gonna meet with them. And he never met with him. So you gotta be a man of your word. He never met with brother Jason, on the plane and stuff like that. They haven't met with Tyrone Boats on the housing program and stuff like that. You got to be a person of your word. And how can you have anything to do with crime and not have a Tyrone Boats and the first black mayor, woman mayor, and who had the most successful crime and holistic plan during the crack era? If you're serious about that, then you'll have people like that at the table. Even Sergeant Boatwright, Kelly, he's not an old guy. You couldn't meet with Makuso. We understand that, but you can meet with Sergeant Boatwright that look like you. That's the school union and part of the police union, who's a friend of the mayor. So they have to look in the mirror, not us. They say the community has to look in the mirror. Look what y'all doing over there in Art Church. Look what the community doing. We're talking both.
My God. Thank you, Moxie. Appreciate you very much. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. I'll see you around. People love this theme song. I'm glad you're saying this because my producer always trying to change it up on my theme song. People like, I don't need it. See that? It got him two-stepping. Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you later and I'll see you on radio. All right. Listen, guys, this has been a great show. I love hearing all of the general concerns. Sometimes we need to have this general platform to bring up many things in our city. And as we close our show, I'm going to talk about yet another issue that I have because my lines are empty. And this is great. This is a great opportunity for me to finish up some of the things I was wanting to talk about and share about today. I looked at the news. I looked at it over the weekend. Watch the news. Friday in particular. Well, let's back up. Let's back up a little bit. Really, last Wednesday evening, when the story first really broke that an indictment had been handed down for state's attorney Marilyn Mosby. I watched a particular news outlet. I'm not going to say the name, but you all know, so don't worry about, you got it. I watched them report on her for 1 solid hour. 1 solid hour of reporting. Now, with other city officials that have gone under fire, we have not seen that, but they took a whole hour, maybe a little over an hour, presenting what they would call their case on her. And then, we heard from her via a press conference of her own on Friday, where she was alluding to the fact that her lawyer, her legal representation will be coming on more to talk about it. And she just wanted to put her statement out and say, I'm not guilty of what they're saying. And certainly, I think a lot of people sat in the seat of judgment because you want to hear every greasy detail that news outlets will give. But when the person that is charged or accused comes out, then you're saying she wants to twist the narrative and taint the jury pool. Well, what did that news outlet do? Hello. So we looked at that. Then we come back, and on Monday, I believe it was Monday, if it wasn't Tuesday, sometime this week, her attorney speaks out and points to a couple of facts, not all of them, but a couple. So then the court of public opinion says, well, he didn't come with any proof and any evidence that would point us to this. Well, check this out, people. That's not the trial. And anyone who has been through anything legal, and I think I can speak on it, I'm being sued for $1 million right now for something that I am not guilty of. But what I won't do is bring my case to any news media conference or anything. I think that people are getting a press conference confused with a trial. Why should they lay every piece of their defense on the table at something as simple as a press conference? It would not make legal sense. And the fact that our community looked for it is a little shameful for me to witness, because you guys know good and well, if it was your head on a chopping block or if you were on trial, you would say, I'll see you in court and I'm going to defend myself vigorously, but you wouldn't peel out and you wouldn't show all of your cards. And that's what our community is looking for to happen. And it's just simply not going to happen. It makes no legal sense to do that. And so if you guys are looking for it, start to put yourself in that seat and say, if it were me, would I put all my cards and all of my defense on the table? I know that when I go to court for my $1 million suit, I want my lawyers to pull out all the stops and surprises that they can. Because more than likely, an unseen defense will fare way better than showing all your cards. Think about the Ravens. That's like them turning over their playbook to the opposing team. It just doesn't make sense. So then last night, I watched the news, I tune in, and I see one of the reporters who looks a little ticked off, because let me just say this. I peeled out a lot of facts last week that had to be recanted on the news, because what they were putting out was a twisted narrative that wasn't even truthful. But those of us who took to the airways and put out the facts, they are now being confirmed by that reporter who so angrily took sheets of paper and scotch taped them on a wall. Building her own timeline of events. Ma'am, you are not a federal prosecutor. Cut it out. Because you've reported that the indictment finally came down that you so were anticipating. Now you want to take the seat of a prosecutor. Are you a reporter that's reporting a story, or are you a federal prosecutor? We need to know. Because you act like you went to law school and you're going to prosecute this case. And dear heart, you simply cannot do that. You took up journalism. Be a journalist. Report the facts. But when I face you with the facts on social media, you go back and you repeal them with sheets of paper and scotch tape on the wall. Listen, ma'am, I'm not going to counter that with my facts and sheets of paper on the wall, because why? I am not a federal prosecutor. I don't have to. And Ms. Mosby hasn't hired me as her defense lawyer. I don't get paid enough to do that. I can take one call, and it must be 30 seconds because we are at the end of our show. So, Mike, you're on Face the Facts. You have 30 short seconds. I'm so sorry. Mike? Oh. Hey, Mike. Sorry about that. Good morning.
Good morning. So am I online?
You're on. Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. Well, I'm calling because you said it a lot. Everybody's putting this whole case together. And most importantly, it's a lot of our folks. And I want people, before they talk about Maryland and how bad she is, I want them to be able to go to Maryland Judicial Case Search so that they can look up themselves.
Thank you.
So they can be able to say, okay, you're saying all this about Marilyn Mosby, that she saved $9,000 her penalty fees and taxes. But when they put their name on it, we should be able to say, hey, you didn't pay your child support, you didn't pay your taxes, you got, so I mean, everybody has a big mouth until that information is put on the scene. So what I say is, let's give Maryland her chance. not even a chance. Just give them their due. We know what this is about. And all they wanted to do is find $100,000 under the bed, $50,000 in the refrigerator. They wanted to see connections with drug dealers and all this other stuff. And they said, oh, well, we only found this. And then they will say, well, it's the Biden's, what you call that, Justice Department.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm gonna continue this next week. I appreciate you for calling in. The clock is on me. I have to end now, but thank you so much. Listen, you guys, I don't have time to really properly wrap my show like I would like to, but we'll be back next Thursday right here at 1010 WOLB with Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm sorry that this show was too short for us to get it all in, but we'll be right back at it next week. Please stay tuned for our other customized shows right here on 1010 WOLB. And family, Soup and Salad with the Seniors at 12 o'clock. Make sure that you tune in with my man Doc Cheatham. I'm sure he has some exciting things for seniors and some good resources. Until next time, this has been Face the Facts with Kelly Vaughn. Peace, family. I got options. Oh, man. Not enough time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was a hot show, just not enough time. So praying for resources to be able to go longer on radio with this show, because I do believe that we tackle some very important issues. We talk about some very important things. We hear some very important facts. And this show takes on a different flavor than some of the other shows on WOLB. Even though every customized show here has its purpose, this one is a little more proactive. This one is a little more, let's talk the problems, but let's also talk the solutions and what we're going to do as a Black community, or how we feel as a Black community. So for that, the show for me has been an invaluable resource. And for many others, I can definitely take community sponsorships, or anyone who wants to sponsor. All you have to do is inbox me. But it's becoming very clear to me that 1 hour is not going to do it per week. And that's not because I'm so great or so wonderful, but it's because this show, with everyone who calls in, contributes, or is even a guest, tackles some important things and put some important things in the spotlight that needs to be showcased. And don't think for a second that our city leadership does not listen to and hear the show. When I see them out and about, when I talk to them, sometimes when I'm on the Larry Young Morning Show, they allude to the fact that they heard some of the things that we mentioned that are key. And so sometimes an email won't get it. Sometimes a phone call won't get it. But sometimes Black Talk Radio will get it together. There are people that say that Black Talk Radio is a thing of the past, or that radio is a thing of the past. And it certainly is not. Any doomsday show that you've watched will show that the last thing to go as far as society is concerned is radio. The satellites will fail, but that radio signal will stay strong through some pretty tough things. And so that's why I still invest in Black Talk Radio and radio in general, because it is an important resource for the Black community. All we have to do is tap into it, take the foolishness out of it, and use it properly. I don't have time to sit and talk with people, or people that are on radio that just have a beef with me for no problem, for no issue, or that just hate Baltimore in general. But you stay calling in to weigh in about Baltimore City, where you yourself say you would not live, but you care enough to call in on a show that you don't like, with people that you don't think can do good radio, to make your opinion known and heard, to lie on hosts that are on air. And only thing we're doing is trying to fix the problems in Baltimore. That's why we take to the air on a dedicated basis every single week. But all you can do is push a whole bunch of foolishness their way. And while I'm talking about it, let me just go ahead and say it. I don't do protests for money. So all summer long, when I was in Towson and I'm fighting for Cody Gaines, I was fighting for Cody Gaines. It is disgusting to me that a fellow radio person, whether they like me or not, would get on air and point to the fact that myself and others who led that fight would do it solely for money. There's no money to be had for me. And like I told that person, the next time that you want to say anything about me, make sure that you have come to me first. But when I hear that you haven't come to me and you're spreading this rhetoric about me, you can expect that you will hear from my lawyers and I will take you to court. The time is out for playing. This is not an atmosphere where we should have petty beef in radio. This is not an atmosphere where we should ever have Black people against other Black people who are actually doing something. It's so crazy to me. Some of these radio hosts, they are armchair activists. They're never out, but they got everything to say about whatever is happening in Baltimore City. I'm going to say it like one of the very popular deacons at my church would say it. Get off of your blessed insurance to do something or shut up about it. This is the after effect of the show. Of course, only you guys are getting this and radio is not getting it. But I just find myself in the seat of frustration because, number one, I am a woman on Black Talk Radio. It is hard enough for me as it is. Then the other thing that is discounted, I don't know what people think I do all day, but I'm treated as a child. When I pay a mortgage, I pay BGE, I pay phone bill, I pay insurances, I pay all the bills that anybody that's older than me pays, and sometimes more. You can't discount me or call me a little girl because I'm younger than you and I have a different way of thinking and I don't deal with old dog antics. This is something that we face. And it's good that I know my impact. Because if I didn't know my impact, I would have left Black Talk Radio a long time ago because trust and believe there's a lot of foolishness that goes on. I'm just going to be totally honest about it. But I thank you for tuning in every week. I thank you for always putting in your input and being a proactive part of this show. I can't do this show by myself. It takes the listenership and those who tune into this show to make this show happen. And so I just wanted to take the time to say thank you so much for tuning in, for being an active participant. And I'm just praying that I come across resources to get more time on radio for this show because I do believe it's meaningful. And keep me in prayer because I deal with stuff every day that honestly makes me want to walk away from radio. Black Talk Radio is not the most encouraging kind of radio that will take a young person and boost them, especially a young person that wants to deal in something that people think is a thing of the past. People think that radio is a thing of the past. I'm here to tell you that it's not, and I see the impact that it makes. And so I'll be doing some things this week for anyone who wants to donate. You can definitely donate, text me, hit me up, and I'll tell you how to do it. And 100% of it will go towards the show. But I'm tired of the shenanigans and stuff. I even blocked people from calling my phone this weekend from Black Talk Radio because I'm just not here for the foolishness. I have a job to do. I have a city that I am accountable to. I have a listenership that I'm accountable to. And it's enough of the games and stuff and the petty beefs. So with that being said, I'm going to sanitize this chair for whoever is coming behind me or not coming behind me. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please share this on your pages. And I love you guys right back. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Bo. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Dr. Ron, LaShonda, everybody who's in here. I love you guys so much. Oh, my goodness. John King from Arizona. Hey, man, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you guys. Hi, Sean.
What's up, man?
You want the folk to see you dance? Oh, Sean won't do it, y'all. It ain't right. It ain't right. Sean, you don't want to say hi to Facebook Live? I ain't got the camera on you. You know I don't do that. I don't know where you wanted it. Let's see. This is Sean.
Facebook Live.
Oh, Sean on Facebook Live, y'all. Oh, my God. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.
You